The Logical Mystic. A practical guide to spiritual philosophies. Why logical minds struggle with spirituality. For centuries, science and spirituality were seen as irreconcilable, two opposing forces vying for authority over how we understand reality. But what if this dichotomy is the greatest misunderstanding of all? For those who view the world through the lens of logic, spirituality can feel like an intangible, unprovable concept, like grasping at shadows. Logical minds thrive on clarity, evidence, and structure, making the abstract language of spirituality seem inaccessible or even contradictory. Words like energy, ether, or intuition may trigger skepticism rather than curiosity, leading many to dismiss spirituality as ungrounded or irrelevant. Yet beneath the resistance lies a deeper question. What if there's something I'm missing? The challenge and the opportunity. This struggle isn't born from a lack of intelligence or insight. It arises because logical minds are both naturally interested in grounded information and conditioned to seek answers through the tangible by peers and society in general. Evidence is king, and data drives decisions. When spirituality presents truths that can't be weighed or measured, the logical mind recoils, fearing the chaos of the unknown. It's not that logic and spirituality are incompatible. Rather, they've been falsely pitted against one another. The challenge, then, is not about abandoning logic, but unpacking and analyzing it further. What if spirituality isn't a contradiction to logic, but an expansion of it? Throughout history, many concepts once ridiculed as unprovable, like microorganisms, quantum physics, and even the subconscious mind, eventually became cornerstones of human understanding. Galileo faced condemnation for suggesting Earth revolved around the sun. Ignaz Semmelweis was ridiculed for proposing hand-washing to prevent infection. Alfred Wegener's theory of continental drift was dismissed as fanciful, and even Marie Curie encountered skepticism about radioactivity. These examples remind us that progress often emerges through resistance and ridicule. It's possible that concepts like ether, auras, and chakras are subject to the same ignorance. Perhaps these ideas await the technology, math, and tools to validate their existence. Until then, they invite us to remain curious and open to possibilities. What this book offers. In this book, we'll explore how spirituality, when reframed and demystified, can be seen as another system for understanding reality. Together, we'll uncover practical tools, ancient wisdom, and fresh perspectives that harmonize these forces into a richer, more meaningful view of existence. Here's what to expect as we navigate this journey. Chapter 1 explores the nature of reality itself, how perception shapes experience, and how science continues to evolve its understanding of the unseen. Chapter 2 examines the mechanics of belief, uncovering how inherited constructs and neuroplasticity influence our inner and outer worlds. Chapter 3 dives into practical tools for spiritual exploration, offering experiments like meditation, journaling, and connecting with nature to engage both logic and intuition. Chapter 4 integrates spirituality into everyday life, transforming routines and relationships into opportunities for growth and alignment. Chapter 5 reflects on what it means to live in a new paradigm that balances logic and spirituality, evidence and intuition. The power of belief and perception. Consider the placebo effect, a profound example of how beliefs shape reality. If we believe we are alone, unguided, or abandoned, we act accordingly, reinforcing those beliefs. Conversely, when we believe we are supported, connected, or guided, our behavior aligns, creating a self-fulfilling truth. This power of belief is not abstract, it's measurable and transformative. Similarly, the concept of scotomas illustrates how our brain, in conjunction with our eyes, can filter out what doesn't align with our expectations, even if it's written in black and white. These cognitive blind spots remind us that what we perceive as real may be only a fraction of what actually exists. Science and spirituality, bridging the divide. Science and spirituality, once seen as opposites, are now converging. Quantum physics speaks of invisible forces shaping our universe, ancient sacred geometry offers clues about universal patterns, and neuroscience validates the transformative power of practices like meditation. Einstein himself faced doubt and ridicule before his theories reshaped the very foundations of physics. Today, we rely on his work to understand the universe, just as we rely on quantum physics to power modern technologies. Similarly, spiritual principles like love, interconnectedness, and energy might one day gain broader acceptance as science continues to explore the unknown. Spirituality as a personal journey. Spirituality doesn't require belonging to any particular church or denomination. Even for those who identify as non-traditional or pagan, spirituality can be deeply personal, what some might call a religion of me. The beauty of spirituality lies in its adaptability. It can be a framework for exploration rather than adherence to dogma. Religion is a set of rules conceived by man. Spirituality is simply a relationship that evolves and changes over time and doesn't require a title. Many modern self-development teachings and programs owe their foundation to spiritual principles repackaged for contemporary audiences. Concepts like mindfulness, visualization, and gratitude, once rooted in ancient traditions, now permeate wellness culture as tools for personal growth. An invitation to explore. This book is not about abandoning logic but expanding it. It's an invitation to explore the interplay between science and spirituality, logic and intuition, and the seen and unseen. What if spiritual principles, when reframed and demystified, are simply another system of understanding reality? And what if embracing this system doesn't mean abandoning logic but enhancing it? Let's begin this journey together, with curiosity, openness, and a willingness to see beyond what we already know. Chapter 1. The nature of reality. Reality is often seen as absolute, a solid, measurable framework that we navigate through sensory input and logical reasoning. Yet, history has shown us that reality is far more fluid than we might believe. The nature of reality has been redefined countless times, with each new scientific discovery unveiling layers of complexity previously hidden from view. What we perceive as real is as much a product of our minds as it is of the external world. One profound example of this is the concept of perception and illusion. Optical illusions, for instance, demonstrate how easily the mind can misinterpret what the eyes see. Beyond these visual tricks, the way we perceive our environment is also shaped by beliefs, cultural norms, and personal experiences. In other words, reality is not purely objective, it is a co-creation of the mind and the world around it. Although the mind is a beautiful supercomputer of nature's design, it is not without its shortcomings, quirks, and viruses, much like a traditional computer can fall victim to. These vulnerabilities, biases, blind spots, and cognitive distortions can skew our perception of reality. What we see and believe may be as much a reflection of our mental programming as it is an accurate representation of the world. Recognizing these limitations is the first step in understanding the fluid nature of reality. The role of perspective in shaping reality. Consider how two people can experience the same event yet walk away with entirely different interpretations. These differences stem from unique, mental lenses, shaped by personal histories, cultural influences, and subconscious beliefs. Perspective is the filter through which we interpret the world. By recognizing this filter, we open the door to seeing beyond it. The fluidity of scientific truth. This dynamic nature of perception leads us to one of the greatest scientific revelations of the 20th century, Einstein's energy theory. At its core, Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared, reveals that matter and energy are interchangeable. From a spiritual perspective, this suggests that the universe itself is an interplay of unseen forces and visible forms, a dance between the tangible and the intangible. Science, while a powerful tool for understanding, is not immune to evolution. Newtonian physics once described the workings of the universe with precision, until Einstein's relativity redefined those rules. Now, quantum physics is further challenging our understanding, introducing concepts like entanglement and the observer effect. Yes, science is fluid, but it also has to progress against the grain of the awareness of the masses. Many groundbreaking discoveries were ridiculed or dismissed before their validity was proven. Galileo Galilei, for example, faced condemnation for suggesting that Earth revolved around the sun, a heretical idea at the time that is now fundamental to our understanding of the cosmos. Ignaz Semmelweis was met with hostility when he proposed handwashing as a way to prevent infections in maternity wards. His observations were dismissed until germ theory vindicated him decades later. Similarly, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection sparked outrage and debate, particularly from religious institutions, despite becoming a cornerstone of modern biology. Alfred Wegener's idea of continental drift was dismissed as fanciful until the discovery of plate tectonics decades later, and even Marie Curie faced skepticism in her early work on radioactivity. These examples remind us that scientific progress often emerges through resistance and ridicule. It's possible that ether, auras, and chakras are subject to this same ignorance. Maybe they exist, but we lack the technology, math, and equipment we need to see or interact with them. History reminds us that progress demands curiosity, humility, and a willingness to challenge accepted truths. Reality as a shared construct. Reality is not only shaped by individual perception, but also by collective agreement. Societal norms, cultural values, and shared beliefs define much of what we accept as real. For example, money is just paper or numbers on a screen, yet it holds immense power because we collectively agree on its value. This shared construct highlights the malleability of reality and the power of belief on both personal and collective scales. The ether as a bridge concept. Such insights pave the way for re-examining ancient spiritual concepts like the ether. Historically, ether was believed to be a substance that filled the cosmos, enabling the transmission of light and energy. While modern science has moved away from this terminology, the underlying idea persists. There are forces in the universe that we cannot directly see or measure, yet they profoundly influence our reality. In this context, ether serves as a metaphor for the unseen connections that bind all things. Modern physics echoes this idea through concepts like dark matter and dark energy, reminders that much of our universe remains unseen and unexplained. Religion versus spirituality. Religion is often tasked with defining reality through fixed doctrines, presenting rules and boundaries that help explain the unknown. Spirituality, however, offers a more flexible approach. It invites exploration rather than dictation, focusing on relationship rather than regulation. As noted earlier, religion is a set of rules conceived by man, while spirituality is a relationship that evolves and changes over time, requiring no title or label, just a willingness to speak and listen. An invitation to reflect. Understanding the nature of reality requires a willingness to question what we know and remain open to what we don't. It is a journey of curiosity, one that balances skepticism with openness, logic with intuition, and the seen with the unseen. What assumptions about reality have you never questioned? How might seeing things differently open new possibilities in your life? Chapter 2. Chapter 2. The mechanics of belief. In the previous chapter, we explored how perception shapes reality, revealing that what we see is not always as objective as we believe. Now, let's dive deeper into the role of beliefs, those invisible frameworks that influence our thoughts, actions, and experiences. Beliefs are the foundation of how we interact with the world. They shape our understanding of what is possible, what we deserve, and how we relate to others. But here's the catch. Many of these beliefs are not chosen. They're inherited, absorbed from family, culture, and society without question. By examining the mechanics of belief, we can begin to reclaim this power, transforming inherited constructs into consciously chosen truths. Inherited constructs. Beliefs are often handed down through generations like heirlooms. Some are empowering, values of kindness, resilience, or creativity. Others, however, may be limiting, rooted in fear or scarcity. For example, beliefs about money are often shaped by familial attitudes. If you grew up hearing phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to work hard to make ends meet, you might unconsciously adopt a mindset of scarcity, even if your circumstances have changed. Who taught me this belief? Is it serving me? What would my life look like if I let it go? These questions can act as keys to unlocking inherited beliefs, giving you the freedom to choose which ones to keep and which to release. The power of neuroplasticity. Neuroscience reveals that the brain is constantly adapting, rewiring itself in response to our thoughts, behaviors, and experiences. This phenomenon, known as neuroplasticity, means that beliefs are not fixed. They can be reshaped with intentional effort. Think of your brain as a network of pathways. When you repeatedly think or act in a certain way, the pathways supporting those thoughts and actions grow stronger. However, by consciously choosing new thoughts and behaviors, you can build new pathways, gradually replacing the old ones. Practical reflection exercise. Take a moment to try this simple exercise. Write down 3 beliefs you hold about yourself that feel limiting. Reflect on where these beliefs might have originated. Imagine what your life would look like if you no longer believed these things to be true. This exercise isn't about forcing immediate change, it's about planting the seed of awareness. How beliefs shape reality. Beliefs act as filters through which we interpret the world. For example, someone who believes, "I am not good at relationships," may unconsciously sabotage connections or interpret neutral interactions as rejection. Conversely, a person who believes, "I am worthy of love," is more likely to notice and nurture positive interactions. The placebo effect is a powerful demonstration of how beliefs shape reality. When patients take a sugar pill, believing it's medicine, their bodies often respond as if it were. This phenomenon is not limited to clinical trials. It plays out in our daily lives. What we believe, we manifest. Understanding this principle offers a profound opportunity. By transforming limiting beliefs, we can change not just how we see the world, but how we engage with it. Practical reflection exercise. Here's another exercise to help you explore this concept. Think of an area of your life where you feel stuck or dissatisfied. Write down the beliefs you associate with this area, e.g., "I'll never be successful," or "I'm not creative." Challenge these beliefs by asking, "Is this belief objectively true? What evidence contradicts it? How might my life change if I believed the opposite?" The role of science in validating transformation. Science increasingly supports the idea that changing beliefs can transform experiences. Studies on mindfulness and meditation show that these practices can rewire the brain, reduce stress, and foster positive behaviors. Similarly, research on visualization demonstrates that imagining a desired outcome activates the same neural pathways as actually experiencing it. This scientific backing offers logical minds a solid foundation for exploring belief transformation. The practices in the next chapter, like meditation and journaling, are not just spiritual exercises. They are tools rooted in evidence-based methods. Chapter 3. Tools for exploration. Spirituality, like science, thrives on exploration. It's not about blindly adopting rituals or ideas. It's about experimenting with practices, observing the outcomes, and discovering what resonates. Logical minds, naturally inclined toward inquiry, can approach spirituality as an experiment. The tools in this chapter are presented as opportunities for exploration, not prescriptions, inviting you to engage with curiosity and see what unfolds. 1. The role of experimentation in spirituality. In the same way a scientist tests hypotheses, you can approach spirituality as an iterative process. Each practice is an experiment. You try it, observe the results, and decide if it aligns with your experience. This mindset removes the pressure to believe immediately and instead frames spirituality as a journey of discovery. Experimentation is the gateway to understanding. What works for one person may not work for another, and that's okay. The goal is not conformity but connection. 2. Meditation as a gateway practice. Meditation is one of the most accessible and scientifically validated spiritual tools. Its logic is simple: quiet the noise of daily life to access deeper layers of awareness. For logical minds, meditation offers tangible benefits like reduced stress, improved focus, and greater clarity. Getting started. Breathing techniques. Box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. For 7-8 breathing, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, Exhale for 8 seconds. Beginner meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, gently return your focus to your breath. Start with 5 minutes and gradually increase as you feel comfortable. Imagine starting your day with just 5 minutes of quiet focus. Over time, this practice strengthens self-awareness, a foundational element of spirituality. 3. Journaling for self-discovery. Writing is a bridge between the conscious and subconscious mind. Journaling allows you to uncover patterns, clarify thoughts, and connect with your inner self. Practical exercises. Gratitude journaling. Each evening, write 3 things you're grateful for. This practice rewires your brain toward positivity and abundance. Stream of consciousness writing. Set a timer for 10 minutes and write whatever comes to mind, without judgment or editing. This can reveal hidden beliefs or insights. Spiritual prompts. What makes me feel most alive? What do I believe about my purpose? If I had no fear, what would I pursue? Journaling is like holding a mirror to your soul, reflecting thoughts and insights that might otherwise remain hidden. 4. Connecting with nature. Nature is a spiritual teacher that requires no translation. For logical minds, its lessons are grounded in observable patterns and cycles, making it a neutral yet profound avenue for exploration. Practices to try. Walk barefoot on grass or sand, earthing, to feel connected to the earth. Spend time observing natural phenomena like sunsets, flowing water, or trees swaying in the wind. Reflect on the cycles of nature, day and night, seasons, growth and decay, and how they mirror your own experiences. Scientific studies show that spending time in nature reduces cortisol levels and improves mental well-being, offering both spiritual and physiological benefits. 5. The science of resonance and energy. Sound and vibration influence matter, a concept rooted in both physics and spirituality. Resonance, the way frequencies interact, is at the heart of many spiritual practices. Experiments in resonance. Sound healing. Listen to solfeggio frequencies or Tibetan singing bowls and observe how the vibrations affect your mood and focus. Music and emotion. Create a playlist of songs that evoke specific emotions or states of mind. Tuning forks. Experiment with tuning forks to explore how sound vibrations resonate in your body. Just as a song can lift your spirits or calm your nerves, sound healing taps into the subtle ways vibration impacts your energy and mood. 6. Exploring sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is the study of universal patterns and shapes found in nature, art, and architecture. It merges logic, mathematics, with spirituality, offering a visual and symbolic tool for exploration. How to explore sacred geometry. Draw or meditate on the flower of life, a symbol representing the interconnectedness of all things. Observe sacred geometry in nature, such as spirals in seashells or the symmetry of snowflakes. Reflect on how these patterns connect the tangible and intangible, offering glimpses into universal design. For logical minds, sacred geometry is a fascinating reminder that the universe speaks in patterns if we take the time to notice. 7. Recommended reads for spiritual experimentation. To deepen your exploration, consider these highly regarded authors and books. Dr. Wayne Dyer, simple yet profound insights that inspire self-awareness and spiritual growth. Eckhart Tolle, a widely respected expert on the ego mind. His works, like The Power of Now, offer transformative perspectives on mindfulness and presence. Louise Hay, known as a pioneer in positive affirmations, her book You Can Heal Your Life is a cornerstone for self-love and empowerment. Don Miguel Ruiz, The 4 Agreements is a practical and concise guide to living a more intentional and harmonious life. These authors offer accessible yet powerful wisdom, making them excellent companions for anyone beginning their spiritual journey. 8. Reflective practices for integration. After experimenting with these tools, take time to reflect on your experiences. Questions for reflection. What practice felt most resonant and why? Did anything surprise you or challenge your expectations? How might these experiences shape your understanding of spirituality? Reflection helps bridge the gap between exploration and integration, allowing insights to deepen and take root. Conclusion to Chapter 3. The tools and resources explored here are meant to bridge logic and spirituality, offering practical ways to engage with the unseen and unknown. They are experiments, invitations, and possibilities, all designed to help you find what resonates and opens the door to deeper connection. Chapter 4. Practical spirituality. Spirituality isn't confined to meditation cushions or journaling pages. It's a way of being, woven into the fabric of daily life. While the tools we explored in the previous chapter are valuable, their true power lies in how you apply them to your routines, relationships, and challenges. This chapter focuses on integrating spirituality into everyday moments, transforming ordinary experiences into opportunities for growth, connection, and alignment. 1. Defining practical spirituality. Practical spirituality is about living your values and intentions in the small, seemingly mundane choices of life. It's not about perfection or constant mindfulness. It's about approaching daily moments with curiosity, presence, and a sense of purpose. At its core, spirituality teaches us to act from a space of love, even in the face of aggression, conflict, opposition, or danger. This practice, modeled by ascended masters throughout history, is one of the highest expressions of spiritual growth. When we choose love over fear or retaliation, we align with our deepest values and create a ripple effect of healing and connection. Spirituality isn't separate from life. It's how you live life. It's the intention behind your actions and the meaning you assign to your experiences. 2. Building a daily spiritual routine. Consistency is key when it comes to integrating spirituality into your life. Creating a simple routine can help anchor your day in mindful practices and set the tone for intentional living. Suggestions for a daily routine. Morning. Begin with gratitude. Upon waking, think of 3 things you're thankful for, setting a positive tone for the day. Midday pause. Take 3 to 5 minutes to breathe deeply or meditate. Reflect on how your day is going and realign with your intentions. Evening reflection. Journal about the day's highs and lows. Consider what you learned, what you're proud of, and what you'd like to improve. Integrate tools from Chapter 3. Reflect on how a practice like journaling or sound healing helped you align with your intentions. Use meditation to revisit your responses to challenges or interactions during the day. 3. Infusing spirituality into relationships. Relationships offer some of the richest opportunities for practicing spirituality. Whether it's through compassion, active listening, or forgiveness, each interaction becomes a chance to connect more deeply. Practical exercises. Gratitude for others. Write down one thing you appreciate about a friend, family member, or colleague each day. Share it with them if possible. Presence in conversations. Commit to truly listening during conversations. No multitasking, no planning your response. Simply be present. Acting from love in conflict. When faced with disagreement or opposition, pause and ask, what would love look like in this moment? What outcome do I want, and how can love guide my response? Use journaling from Chapter 3 to reflect on the challenges and breakthroughs you experience in these interactions. 4. Overcoming challenges with spirituality. Life is full of challenges, but spirituality offers tools to navigate them with grace and resilience. Strategies for common challenges. Stress. Use a quick breathing exercise like box breathing to calm your nervous system. As you exhale, imagine releasing tension. Conflict. Before reacting, take a moment to ask, what outcome do I want from this situation? Respond with intention rather than emotion. Danger or aggression. Channel the practice of acting from love by focusing on calm, centered action rather than reactive fear. Anxiety. Ground yourself by focusing on your 5 senses. What can you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste? This brings you back to the present moment. Mental and emotional alchemy. Transform potentially negative situations into beneficial ones. View setbacks as lessons or springboards into better circumstances. This practice, rooted in soul root alchemy, involves reframing challenges to uncover hidden opportunities for growth. 5. living with the wisdom of the four directions. In many spiritual traditions, the four directions represent different aspects of life and inner wisdom. East, new beginnings, inspiration, and clarity. South, growth, playfulness, and emotional balance. West, reflection, transformation, and letting go. North, wisdom, stability, and guidance. Reflection practice. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what lessons did I learn from the East? Clarity. What emotions or experiences emerged in the South? Growth. What did I release in the West? Transformation. What wisdom did I gain from the North? Stability. 6. Aligning with the 5 elements. The 5 elements, earth, air, fire, water, and ether, represent the building blocks of life and can help us find balance. Earth, grounding and stability. Air, inspiration and communication. Fire, passion, courage, and transformation. Water, flow and emotional connection. Ether, spirit and universal connection. Integrating the elements. Walk barefoot, earth, to ground yourself. Take a deep breath of fresh air, to clear your mind. Light a candle, fire, to ignite focus or creativity. Spend time near water, to reflect and release emotions. Meditate on your connection to the universe, ether. 7. Reflection and progress tracking. Integrating spirituality into your daily life is a journey, not a destination. Taking time to reflect on your progress helps you stay aligned and aware. Weekly check-in practice. Set aside 10 minutes at the end of the week to ask yourself, what practices felt most natural or impactful? What challenges did I encounter? How have I grown or shifted in my perspective? Conclusion to Chapter 4. Practical spirituality is about showing up for your life with intention, presence, and a willingness to grow. It's not about perfection, but about finding small, meaningful ways to align your actions with your values and your daily routines with your deeper purpose. Through observing nature, connecting with the elements, and honoring the wisdom of the directions, you can deepen your practice, finding spiritual alignment in even the simplest moments. When faced with conflict, opposition, or even danger, consider the practice of acting from love. In these moments, we align ourselves with the wisdom of the ascended masters and demonstrate the true power of spirituality in action. The more you practice, the more spirituality stops being something you do and starts being something you live. Next chapter. As we integrate these practices into our daily lives, we open the door to exploring deeper connections between science and spirituality, building a more expansive understanding of both. Chapter 5. A New Paradigm. As we've explored throughout this book, spirituality and logic are not opposing forces. They are partners in a dance that leads to deeper understanding and growth. By blending the strengths of both, we create a new paradigm, one that honors evidence and intuition, skepticism and wonder, individuality and interconnectedness. This chapter reflects on what it means to live in this new paradigm, offering insights for continuing your journey with balance, curiosity, and purpose. 1. Balancing skepticism with openness. Skepticism is not the enemy of spirituality, it's a tool for discernment. A logical mind asks questions, seeks evidence, and demands clarity. Yet, when paired with openness, skepticism becomes a powerful ally in the search for truth. In Chapter 1, we explored how science evolves, often challenging societal norms before new discoveries are accepted. Balancing skepticism with openness means allowing space for possibilities that cannot yet be measured, much like embracing the concept of ether or the unseen forces of the universe. Living this balance means embracing curiosity, even when certainty isn't available. It means holding space for possibilities that don't yet have equations or tools to prove them. The journey of blending logic and spirituality isn't about abandoning critical thinking. It's about expanding its scope to include the mysteries that can't yet be measured. 2. The coexistence of science and spirituality. Science and spirituality are often framed as adversaries, but in truth, they are complementary perspectives on the same reality. Science seeks to understand the mechanisms of the universe. Spirituality seeks to understand its meaning. Together, they provide a fuller picture of existence. In Chapter 1, we discussed how science, despite its reliance on evidence, constantly revises its understanding of reality. Concepts once considered mystical, like meditation's effects on the brain, are now scientifically validated. Similarly, spirituality introduces ideas like interconnectedness and energy that science is beginning to explore through quantum physics. What if the spiritual principles you've explored here, like love, energy, and interconnectedness, are simply truths waiting for their scientific validation? And what if the tools of science could one day measure and explain the spiritual experiences that feel so real but defy current understanding? 3. Psychedelics as a potential last resort. For some individuals, even after integrating the practices and ideas we've explored, breaking through deeply entrenched patterns can remain challenging. If you find yourself feeling stuck, despite embodying these approaches, psychedelics may offer an alternative path for transformation. Understanding psychedelics as a tool. Modern science has begun to validate the therapeutic potential of psychedelics. Studies from institutions like Johns Hopkins Medicine have shown that substances like psilocybin, found in certain mushrooms, can be effective in addressing treatment-resistant depression and other psychological barriers. These compounds promote neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections, enabling profound shifts in thought patterns and behaviors. From the shamanic perspective, shamans and traditional practitioners have used psychedelics as sacred tools for thousands of years. They view plants, animals, insects, and mushrooms as having their own soul and purpose, to be approached with reverence and respect. These substances are not seen as shortcuts or recreational tools, but as allies in the journey of healing and understanding. Important considerations. Scientific validation meets ancient wisdom. Research supports the idea that psychedelics, when paired with professional guidance, can lead to lasting improvements in mental health and self-awareness. Intention matters. Approach these substances with humility, honoring them as allies rather than a path for escapism. Reflect on your purpose. Are you seeking healing, clarity, or understanding? The role of the guide. A credible and safe guide is essential. This person should respect your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual boundaries, acting as both protector and supporter. Beware of guides who fail to uphold these standards. If you feel the need to, be on the lookout for someone's behavior, whether emotionally manipulative, physically inappropriate, or otherwise unsafe. This energy can disrupt your journey rather than enhance it. Ethical and legal factors. The legal status of psychedelics varies by region. Exploring these treatments responsibly through clinical trials or licensed practitioners is essential. While psychedelics are not necessary for spiritual growth, they may serve as a tool of last resort for those facing barriers that feel insurmountable. When approached with reverence, intention, and safety, psychedelics offer a powerful bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science, providing a unique pathway for transformation. 4. Developing a personal spiritual practice. No two spiritual journeys are alike. The tools and philosophies in this book are meant to guide you, not define you. Spirituality is deeply personal, shaped by your values, experiences, and aspirations. In chapters 3 and 4, we explored practices like meditation, journaling, and connecting with nature. These tools form the foundation of a personal spiritual practice that can evolve as you grow. Reflection questions. What practices resonate most with me, and why? How can I adapt these tools to fit my daily life? What does spirituality mean to me at this stage in my life? Your spiritual practice is not static, it grows with you. As your understanding deepens, allow your practice to evolve, shedding what no longer serves and embracing what feels true. 5. Expanding the vision. As you reflect on the insights gained from this journey, consider how they've shifted your perspective. How do you now view challenges, relationships, or your own potential? Have you noticed a change in how you approach life's uncertainties? Spirituality is not about arriving at a final answer. It's about learning to ask better questions. By continuing to experiment, reflect, and refine, you keep the door open to endless growth and discovery. A note on integration. Don't rush the process of integration. Growth happens gradually, in moments of reflection, in the quiet shifts of perspective that build over time. Trust the process and allow the wisdom you've gained to unfold naturally. 6. The power of collective awakening. While spirituality is deeply personal, it also has a collective dimension. Every act of love, every moment of presence, every step toward alignment contributes to a greater whole. As more individuals embrace this new paradigm, living with intention, blending logic and spirituality, the ripple effects are felt in families, communities, and beyond. Your journey is not just for you. It is part of a larger tapestry of awakening and evolution. Imagine a world where critical thinking is paired with compassion, where innovation and intuition work together, and where love is the guiding force in relationships and decision-making. This is the potential of the new paradigm you are helping to create. Conclusion to Chapter 5. The journey of blending logic and spirituality is one of courage and curiosity. It's about expanding your perspective, embracing new tools, and stepping into a life of alignment and purpose. This new paradigm invites you to live not just with your mind or your heart, but with both in harmony. As you continue forward, remember, the answers aren't all outside of you, nor are they all within. They emerge from the interplay of exploration, reflection, and connection. Trust this process and trust yourself. Congratulations on completing your reading for the day. This book is just a taste of what lies ahead on your spiritual path. You've taken meaningful steps toward blending logic and spirituality, creating a foundation for lifelong growth and transformation. Through this exploration, you've begun to understand the nature of reality, the power of beliefs, and the tools available to deepen your spiritual practice. You've reflected on the mechanics of your mind, experimented with practical rituals, and envisioned a new paradigm for living with intention and alignment. Next steps. Your journey doesn't stop here. It's only just begun. If you're inspired to explore further, I invite you to continue with these resources designed to support your growth. Secret Geometry, The Foundation of Sacred Geometry by Shaman Zhou. Spider Medicine, a human design guide specifically crafted for projectors. The Ocean and River, an organizational tool for creatives experiencing overwhelm. Breaking through limiting beliefs, unearth and release the things holding you back. Soul Root Alchemy, learn emotional regulation and mental clarity for effective problem solving. The Keys of Metatron, discover 14 key components for moving through life and accomplishing your goals. Microsteps, a practical guide to microdosing mushrooms for enhanced focus and well-being. Each of these resources builds on the foundations we've explored in this book, offering tailored tools and insights to meet you wherever you are in your journey. In addition to these ebooks, I also offer guided medicine journeys and spiritual business coaching for entrepreneurs. These experiences are designed to help you unlock deeper clarity, alignment, and purpose in your personal and professional life. Thanks again for receiving this message, and as always, many blessings on your journey.